Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the KMD Music Den. I am Keith.
I'm Brad.
And he's Brad.
I'm Brad.
And we want to talk about the new, brand new, a couple days ago, Mac DeMarco album, which is entitled 5 Easy Hot Dogs.
What do 5 hard hot dogs look like? That's what I want to know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe not.
I'd almost rather say difficult dogs.
Yeah, all of a sudden that changed. Yeah, never mind. I didn't plan that, folks.
Yeah, well, we don't plan much of anything, which you've probably caught on to by now, subscribers. Yeah. But, you know, I'm going to start with my limited experience with Mac DeMarco. I always had been hearing his name. Yeah. A buddy of mine from work, he now actually works somewhere else. But my friend Elijah, hey, buddy, we started exchanging music at work, and I got him into Ryan Adams.
Okay, cool.
And some other stuff, Wilco. And he got me into some of this stuff that I heard of, maybe heard a song or two, but really didn't dive in. And Elijah is all about Mac DeMarco.
Really? Okay.
So I listened to a couple of his albums, you know, a month or two ago. Enjoyed them. Thought he had a unique sound, and with the music, which I'll get into later when we talk about this one, he uses a lot of what I call purposeful dissonance in the music, which we'll get to.
I've learned that from you, by the way.
Yeah. Why did I? Yeah, I must have used that in another video.
We discussed this on another video where I mentioned it, and you said, and you went into like a little teaching lesson.
Yeah.
So I learned.
Grab your pen and paper. No, so I listened to those albums on Elijah's recommendation, enjoyed them, and then, you know, Brad said, hey, there's a new Mac DeMarco. Do you want to review it? I'm like, sure. And then we went to listen, and what did we find?
Well, let me tell you, I don't have near as much experience as he does. I wanted to review Mac DeMarco. I brought it up because I've heard 1 or 2 tracks. Yeah. And I know he's got a hell of a following.
Yeah.
And I can't usually jump on a train from the back. I got to jump right on where it's at.
Yeah,
and if I like it, I'll go backwards.
Exactly, yeah.
So
well put.
I said, hey, here's a new album. Here's my chance to jump on the Mac train. And
the Mac train.
I text Keith on I said, man, there's no vocals on here at all. This is straight up.
Yeah.
And and I ended up looking it up and realizing it was just something he wrote from LA to New York.
Yeah.
As he was going, and it's just no vocals. So we decided to keep reviewing it anyway.
Yeah, you know, he was like, well, should we? And I'm like, you know what? Might be interesting because, you know, we rarely review something that's instrumental. And, you know, brings up the whole topic we can explore too is, you know, I don't think instrumental equals invalid.
No.
You know, I have instrumental music in my collection for me, instrumental music serves the purpose of, if I'm doing something I need to concentrate on and I want music on in the background, but I'm so into music that if I put, you know, Ryan Adams or something on, I'm going to be, whatever I'm doing is out the window and I'm going right over to the music. So if I can have something without vocals, without lyrics to draw my attention.
I agree.
And one of my favorite, by the way, I'll just grab this here real quick. Probably should have prepared here. One of my favorite instrumental groups, and the vinyl looks so cool, which is why I'm taking a moment to grab.
You guys even hear him while he's down here talking like this?
Repeat everything I say.
Jeez, he's mumbling about music and instrumentals.
Oh, I'm sorry. But there's a group called Tangerine Dream, which some of you may be familiar with. They've been around, I think, since the 70s. But I think it was the late 80s was kind of the period of time when I got into them. And they had this album, Optical Race, and then this album, Lily on the Beach. Okay? You know these guys?
Not at all.
Man, I mean, when I want instrumental music, I've listened to these albums so much in my life because they fill that, what I was just talking about, where it's something not to distract me with vocals. These 2 albums, the album after this is called Melrose. So that 3-album run to me is fantastic. And just a quick side note, I know I'm getting a little off track, but it kind of goes into the instrumental part we're talking about. The other thing I love instrumental that I listen to constantly.
He's got music ADHD, guys.
Yes, I do. The Narada Collection.
Okay, you mentioned this before too.
This was like it is a label of instrumental artists. So these collections are different artists on their roster. A song from this artist, a song from that artist, and then you can be like, oh, I like that song, and then go, you know, find their albums and stuff. So this will take you down a rabbit hole for they call it new age music, you know. Absolutely, highly recommend Tangerine Dream and Narada Collection. But back to Mac DeMarco. So yeah, you know, I said, hey, let's review it anyway. So for me, let's go back to the purposeful dissonance. So this young gentleman, who's very talented, by the way, he will have the music going, and then it'll kind of what I call warble, and it sounds like it's going out of tune, and it kind of is actually, but it's on purpose. Now, for me, listening to this instrumental album, it's interesting because when he sings over it and it warbles, the vocal to me kind of pulls everything together and keeps the song moving. So without the vocal, for me, listening to this album, when it did that purposeful dissonance, at times it could be like, like nails on a chalkboard. It's his style. It's unique. It's somewhat innovative, in my opinion. So I respect his talent a great deal. I felt like some of these songs, it kind of felt like some half-baked demos, really, to me.
Well, it could be. Yeah, I mean, if you're writing on the road, that's where it usually starts.
Yeah. So it begs the question, of course, wow, what would he have, if he recorded all this instrumental music and then went into the studio and made an album and came up with lyrics and melodies, what would that have sounded like? Maybe he will in the future. Maybe he'll be like, hey, I'm going to take these pieces and make an album. This is, to me, he, as an artist, he felt like he needed to do this right now. And I respect that. What are your thoughts on the music itself?
I enjoyed it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, now I found it weird that that's what he released, because I think I look back and it was at least 3 years since his last actual album. So it's strange to me that after a little bit of a wait, he's not putting out anything with vocals.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Like, I put it on, I said, okay, well, hell, let's listen to it. And it was so relaxing to me.
Yeah.
I was nodding off a little bit in a good way, like just enjoying the music and just relaxing. And he's right, sometimes you want something that's just there in the background to help you just relax or to mellow out, or this is something I could definitely put on at work and just do my job and not have to think about anything. So no, for me, I give it a good score. I mean, I'd give it a B.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed some of the musical pieces more than others. I'm sure you did too. My problem is it's hard for me sometimes to turn my songwriter brain off. So there were certain tracks where it was like, 20, 30 seconds in, and the main, piece of music is kind of being established.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a melody. I'm hearing what to do with it from a writing perspective, which distracts me from just enjoying it.
So basically, you're seeing the music as sketches, and you're mad because you want to color it in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm mad, but I'm just, wondering. I don't know. It's and this is part of why I wanted to review this album, because it's interesting to me. That's Mac DeMarco with his fan base. I'm not super familiar with his entire career, but he seems to be known for some of those quirky lyrics.
Yeah.
Having his own unique style. So it is a curveball to throw your fans an instrumental album. But to me, I think his fans are the kind of fans that'll be like, hey, Mac wrote these instrumental tracks. He wanted to put them out. This is where he is right now, and I'm right there with him. He seems like that. Like he has that kind of fan base, which I'll be interested to hear in the comments what the Mac DeMarco, diehards think of this new instrumental album. Yeah. Excuse me. Now, going back to the whole putting it in the background, you said it was relaxing for you.
It was very relaxing, yeah.
See, now that's interesting to me, because for me, the moments of purposeful dissonance took it from relaxing to me to like, ooh, where are we going here? Which, again, when there's a vocal there, it kind of solidifies everything. Although, you would maybe think that the opposite would happen, because if something bends out of key purposefully, and there's a melody going over it, it might clash with the melody and be like, ah. Whereas if it's just the music, it might be more on its own, so to speak. Interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what's the problem here with Keith is, and probably with other people who are musicians and understand music. Yeah. This probably feels a little unfinished and just like a sketch. Yeah. Whereas someone who, like me, I don't know a damn thing about music other than how, just to enjoy it. He does. He does. Nah, not much.
He plays a little guitar.
Like 6 chords, guys.
That's all I know.
So, for me, I just hear it as just the sound that he made. And to me, it's peaceful. But I'm sure if my brain was trying to, wrap harmonies around it and figure out, it probably would be a nightmare.
Which,
so,
yeah, I mean, I mean, honestly, like, there are times that part of my brain ruins things for me. This may be a great example.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, I mean, there were certain tracks that I did find relaxing, that I did find, you know, just motored along real nicely. I'm more than anything, I'm really interested for the folks to weigh in that have really been with Mac from the beginning and love his lyrics. Yeah. And, you know, what do you think? I
was just checking on Portland. I wrote down a few notes. And the Portland tracks 1 and 2 were, I think, by 2 standouts.
Okay.
I really enjoyed
I do remember,
those.
Yeah, the Portland was
those
good.
Those were relaxing, great tracks. So,
yeah.
And Crescent City, I think, was the other one.
Okay. And I did read a little bit. I don't know if you read. Well, you did. That, you know, he was on a trip and stuff.
Yeah.
And at one point, he visited his, you know, his childhood home.
Oh, I didn't read that. No.
And wrote, I think it's Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
I hope I have that right. That he was in Edmonton and wrote, you know, the Edmonton pieces there. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. I mean,
would you buy it on vinyl?
No,
you would not. I would. So I think this is where the divide is going to be: is musician versus non-musician. I think that album is going to fall on different lines. Okay,
and again, there may be musicians out there that think it's brilliant, and in its own way, I think it's unique, and I appreciate it very much. I guess I haven't lived with it very long at all, but I guess part of me is just wondering how much I will return to it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting to hear that you would, if you saw it on vinyl.
I would, because it fills that space you were talking about with Tangerine.
Tangerine Dream, yeah.
Yeah, where to me, this would be an album I could put on in the background. And I don't have a whole lot of that, so.
Yeah, and just as a side note again, folks, with Tangerine Dream, this is more, it's got great guitar leads and stuff in it too, but there's a lot of synth in this and all, but it's, you know, and some of the songs are upbeat, and but then some of them are just very ambient and slow, and it's a good mix of that, you know, those two tempos. But cool artwork too. But just wow, great stuff. So yeah, the new Mac DeMarco, 5 easy hot dogs.
Difficult ones.
Yeah, well, and you know,
in Keith's case,
it also made me hungry listening to this album as I saw the title. But tell us what you think, folks. Mac DeMarco, I tip my hat to you as far as the creativity, throwing us a curveball that got us talking, got us thinking, and most importantly, got us listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and for the fans out there, this was not the album for me to learn about Mac. Yeah. Put in the comments which one I should listen to. Yeah. Because I was hoping to jump on the train while it was moving, but I guess I should wait for the caboose on this one. So.
Well, from my buddy Elijah, I know the one he has that's just simply called the number 2. It's called 2. It seems to be one of his most revered, from what I know. Which is not much, but and hope I'm going to send this video to you, Elijah. I hope you watch it and appreciate it, and maybe you can comment too. So, for Brad, I'm Keith. This is the KB Music Den. We're back to doing new album reviews in this new year. There's going to be plenty more, so stick around. You know, like the video, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel, blah, blah, blah. Almost up to 200 subscribers.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not too bad.
Not bad.
So, we appreciate your time, and check it out. Fans of Mac DeMarco, drop your thoughts in the comments, and we will see you guys real soon.
Absolutely.
Take it easy.